Oh, welcome back to part 4 of our session. I'm going to share my screen again, and we will pick up right where we left off. We left off with application submission. And I think I've said what I wanted to say about that. So let's move on to the last section here. So what to expect in phase 2. So again, we select the top 20 to 24 students in phase 1. So the students with the highest scores in phase 1 into phase 2. So only 20 to 24 people will be engaging in this phase 2 activities. So one of the first things that happens during phase 2 is that we do a panel interview. So a panel is between 6 or 7 people. We score you on the professional appearance. We score you on your ability to communicate verbally and with proper vocabulary. Do be aware that ESL students or bilingual, multilingual applicants are not penalized for errors in vocabulary. We actually see being bilingual and multilingual as an asset to our nursing profession. And so if you are English speaking, we do want to see proper vocabulary. If English is your second language, we are aware that there may be errors in vocabulary or how you say a particular word. But mostly what we do is score you on the quality of your responses to questions, okay? You should anticipate this to be like a job interview. We ask different questions every year, but they are similar in nature to what you might be asked during a job interview. Next, the top 20 to 24 candidates will all participate in an essay. We do schedule the essay in person on campus. We can also make arrangements for candidates who are out of the area to have a proctored essay. If you need that accommodation, please reach out to me and we'll go over that process. But if you are able to get to the KCC campus, then we will be scheduling the essay in a proctored location. So proctored means you're just observed by somebody. Do keep in mind our essay questions do change every year, but they all address the general attributes of integrity or honesty, diversity, communication, transferable skills, motivational fitness, and resilience. Most of the questions are generally a 2-part question, so make sure that you read it carefully and that you answer fully. We are going to look at your writing ability, spelling, grammar, and sentence structure. But mostly we look at the quality of the answer and score based on the quality. I will tell you if there are a lot of spelling, grammar, or sentence structure issues, it is very distracting. And even if the quality of your answer is top notch, you generally get a lower score simply because it's very distracting to see spelling, grammar, and sentence structure issues from a college ready student. And then last, all the students will take a health sciences reasoning test called the HSRT. HRST, again, is scheduled the same day as your essay. It will occur in a proctored location. Oftentimes we'll do the essay first, give you a half an hour break, have you come back and do the health sciences reasoning test. Again, if you're not from our area and need to have this accommodated someplace else, please reach out to me and we will work together to make sure that we can get you these things in a proctored observed location on the same days that we're offering it here. So the health sciences reasoning test measures high stakes reasoning and decision-making processes. It is specifically calibrated for trainees and undergraduate and graduate health sciences educational programs. Scores on this instrument have been found to predict successful professional licensure and high clinical performance ratings. There is a link to the insightassessment.com company, so you can read a little bit more about the health sciences reasoning test. And then also we have this year included some information in the supplemental materials section, again on the nursing program webpage. You've got some links on this PowerPoint presentation to the supplemental materials for resources to assist in preparation. Helps explain what critical thinking is, how you develop critical thinking, reasoning processes, etc. There's not a great way to prepare for the health sciences reasoning test. You either think critically or you don't. You either have really good reasoning abilities or you don't. I will tell you that it is not necessary that you complete 100% of the health science reasoning test. It would be better for you to go slow, take your time, an answer, think about the questions than it is to complete all of the questions. If you complete all of the questions just to get an answer in, it'll actually lower your rating if you happen to answer incorrectly. So read carefully, take your time, reason through the examples that they give you, select the best answer, and don't make an attempt to just get it all done. It is best if you can get it all done because it has more criteria in which to rate your ability to reason through or make judgments through. But I have had students in the past just go through and think, well, I got a 25% chance to get it right, but if you get it wrong, it counts negatively against you. So be judicious in how you approach your health sciences reasoning test, and do access those materials in the supplemental materials under the health sciences reasoning test tab. So here's some tips on how to write a stellar essay. So first of all, start practicing your essay writing skills. Candidates are scored on their written communication ability in addition to the quality of the answers. Make sure that you do a spell and grammar check. You will be allowed to use a computer. You're not allowed to surf the internet, but you will have spell and grammar check. But don't rely on that 100%. Give yourself enough time to go back through and proofread your answers to the essays. Make sure that your essay contains a thesis statement. If you don't know what a thesis statement is currently, then you've got some practice and some research to do before you sit down to write a stellar essay. Read the questions carefully. Answer all parts of the question in an organized manner. Some questions, most questions, will require a two-part answer. Part of the second part is to give examples where you've displayed these attributes. You know that we're going to ask you about diversity, resilience, integrity, self-motivation, and transferable skills that you already have. So start thinking about the best example from your life where you have demonstrated cultural competence. I will give you a tip. Treating everybody the same is not cultural competence, that is cultural tolerance. I want to see cultural competence come through in your essay questions. So start thinking about those best examples from your life that you can share with us that demonstrate a cultural awareness or cultural appreciation, cultural humility. Start thinking about transferable skills that you already excel at. That might be problem solving, leadership, teamwork, organization, time management, prioritization. What is it that you do really well already that's going to transfer into your nursing practice? Believe it or not, sometimes I see the best nursing candidates when I'm at a restaurant and the wait staff or the servers are demonstrating how well they provide customer service, time management, prioritization, and those sorts of things. So it doesn't have to be a transferable skill in a health-related industry. It can be a transferable skill in whatever industry you've worked in that transfers to your ability to be a good nurse. Start thinking about evidence and examples from your past that show resilience, your ability to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, move on, or your tolerance to stress. Show us your best example where you displayed a lot of grit and resiliency. Start thinking about examples of situations where you displayed a high degree of integrity or honesty. Did you notice somebody cheating on an exam, and did you do the right thing about that? By the way, cheating on exams and telling on your fellow students tends to be an area that a lot of people address with integrity, and that is a little cliche. And what we want to see is something a little bit deeper than that. And then also start thinking about examples of self-motivation, about how you've reached goals or that you set goals and how you strive for excellence, right? And how you do that with yourself versus somebody else giving you incentives. So you know that your essay is going to be about these 5 different areas. We give you 6 points, a maximum of 6 points for each of the questions. 6 points is generally very hard score to get. I will tell you that the average score on this is around 15 to 16 points, and you have a max of 30 points. So if you excel in writing an essay, a really well done essay, that's one way to really change the game for you. You might be candidate 24 coming into phase 2. You don't know where you're at when you come into phase 2, but your essay can move you really from number 24 up to number 1 if other people aren't writing a stellar essay and you do. If you have questions about this application or our current nursing program, or how to fill out any parts of the application, your best bet is to contact our program assistant, Michael West. If you've taken courses here, you might recognize Michael as an A&P instructor. He also serves as our simulation technician in nursing, and he really does sort of keep the wheels going and is very well versed in students filling out this application. So Michael West's email is right here. It's west@klamathcc.edu. Again, if you're going to hand deliver your application, you might want to shoot him an email, ask him when he's going to be in his office, check his office hours, and then he can actually pick it up by hand from you. So there's his contact information. And then brand new this year, our Career Services Center is going to be providing KCC nursing application preparation. So, if there's not a typo in something, I didn't do it. So here's an example of one of my typos. So it is going to be delivered by our Career Services Center located in Building 4. By January 15th, we'll have dates up for when they're going to hold these sessions. They will help you fill out your application, help you navigate that cumbersome GPA calculation page. They can provide interview practice for you. Several of our candidates in the past have worked on their interview techniques and have been very successful. They will give you tips for successful interviews. They'll do mock interviews with you. They will not have our exact interview questions, but remember, our interview questions are very similar to any job interview. If you need some assistance in getting some professional attire for your interview, remember, evidence of professionalism is scored in that interview. And for that, they may be able to supply you with that attire. They do lend out or provide interview attire for our students when they graduate and before any interviews that they might have. They can also help you and give you tips for writing a stellar essay and a lot more. So by January 15th, we will have that information posted on our nursing program webpage. You've also already been given the link to that. Do wait until January 15th for that information to come forward. We actually have a meeting at the end of December to strategize when those will happen. So it's not posted yet, but it'll be up there soon. And that's the end of part 4 of our application advising session. So do spend some time in that application packet. This will be up and available for the next 120 days. And so you might want to come back and watch a certain section. Just help yourself at that. Again, if you need to meet with me, please make an appointment. The best way to get in touch with me is via email. I strive to get back to students or applicants within 24 hours. I do check my email if I'm out of the office. I do not check my phone messages if I'm out of the office, and phone messages do sometimes get lost. And so the best possible way to get in touch with me is via email. Don't be shy. I love working with students. You're never bothering me. So feel free to reach out. And again, feel free to utilize Michael as well with your questions that you have. I wish you the best of luck. I know you've worked hard to get to this point. I wish that we could accept every single one of you, but we are limited to only 8 spots at this point. We do hope to increase that and to maybe offer an LPN program again in the next year or so. So best of luck. Thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation and to put your best foot forward on that application. Take care.